Behold, the Wapiti, or elk, as the early European explorers named it when they first arrived in North America. Elk meat is low in cholesterol and calories, yet provides a higher protein compared to most meats. To learn more about the ways of the Wapiti, we ventured to the Kananaskis Valley in the foothills of Alberta. It's here we discover Elbow Falls Wapiti.
We started working with the elk industry in roughly 94, with 17 animals, and it was a very scarce commodity, and it was very difficult to get into because breeding stock was very limited, so it was a lot of effort and financial strain on us to build all the high 8-foot fences and buy the initial breeding stock. You had the quarter section here and had to do something for us. You know, it's pretty for us, yeah, but it still needs to support your lifestyle. I've dedicated now a lot of the jobs to Stefan now. He's 20 years or 21 years old now, so he can do a lot of stuff on the farm. But you know, till now, it was basically meant getting up in the morning, we'll feed for an hour or two, check the fences for bear activity, check, you know, the well-being of the elk there, make sure the waters are good, and then we usually go into town and repair some of the equipment, and then come back in the evening, and then there's always something.
Growing up was good. I do have allergies to animals, so that was always a challenge, trying to balance living on the farm with the animals. But it was good. You learn a lot on a farm, many things that you wouldn't in a city. And I do notice that when I'm with my friends and whatnot, something that's second nature to me is foreign to them. We had one elk that was bottle fed. Unfortunately, she passed away a few years ago. We named her Pebbles, and she was very friendly. The elk are very calm, I guess. They're very majestic. They don't cause a lot of noise. They mind their own business. If you don't bug them, they don't bug you, basically. They have their ups and downs, of course, like any other animal.
I have 20 generations of elk. I have raised hundreds of elk out here, and they're still semi-wild. I can get in with my quad gator, a bucket of oats, and they come about 10-15 feet, but not closer. They still have a lot of character, tremendous body language. You wouldn't believe it how they can talk to each other without making even a squeak. They know when somebody's on the farm or the veterinarian comes today, because I'm just brushing a little bit more with my gator and with my equipment, so they know there's something cooking, and they can pick that up, and it's fantastic, those animals, you know, how they can communicate. If I want an elk or I want to catch one, there's no chance of driving them like a cattle or a horse. They're still wild, and you know, it's like a cat. They do what they want. And that's the same with an elk. And if you crowd them, it jumps right over me, you know, 7-8 feet. And you know, those are very, very powerful animals.
The elk are a beautiful sight as they roam throughout this 100-acre free-range environment.
In the summer times, they basically are on open pastures. And we have alfalfa, timothy, brome, and basically a mix. We give them a little bit of oat, whole oat, especially when I have calves and they do lactate, so we give them a little extra energy. During the winter time, we basically give them whole oats. They do have a elk ration, which is basically pellets out of alfalfa and some of the minerals. We will never inject antibiotics or hormones in any of our elk. We let Mother Nature take care of it. We don't call the veterinarian when there is one sick. We give him some extra nutrients and some extra space and whatever. So if Mother Nature can fix it, we will not interfere. For 8 to 10 years, they live here, have their calves, and then we have, of course, a slaughter program where after 2 or 3 years, those animals will get into a slaughter program, the ones which are, you know, not as desirable as breeders for the genetic purposes. And so we have a slaughtering program for about 20 to 25 elk per year.
Elbow Falls Wapiti supplies elk meat to Community Natural Foods and a handful of local restaurants.
The meat is inspected, triple inspected. They basically check all the numbers, that the numbers are correct. They check the ear tags with your inventory. They check the fence condition, and they also take from CFI, take the blood and take a TB sample or injector there. So they basically inject, and then 3 days later, you have to look at the injection site and see if there's swelling, and that would indicate a disease or a reactor. And so that happens 3 to 5 years every year. So for the last 20 years, so you catch every single animal. And on top of it, we have the highest inventory control of any livestock species in North America. We do velvet antler, which means we cut the antlers in a certain stage of the elk. For the elk, it's like you going to the dentist for a filling. They get the tourniquet around the pedicle, they get lidocaine injected for pain management, and then we cut the antler off. It's cartilage, it's not bone, it's cartilage yet. And that cartilage will be ground up into capsules and will be used for the athletic industry, racehorses, sled dogs, all performance animals, and also for pets now.
Since we do live on a farm, we do eat the meat every day, and it has no preservatives, no antibiotics in it. It is a very healthy meat for us and for anybody who does eat it. You can have it any way you like. You could have it as a steak, as a burger, as sausages, as jerky, as a stew. There's many different possibilities of what you can make with it.
Well, this is the most important component of that operation, is having my son involved and having the family involved. You know, grandchildren, they all whistle already like Opa when they come to the farm because they want to feed the babies, right? And so, I mean, it's a farm operation, third generation now, where we say, okay, we have new blood coming in with the same love, driving around, checking fences, looking for deer and looking for, you know, things in nature, and it's beautiful.
Living on a farm is, you have your joys. You wake up in the morning, you get to hear the birds singing in the morning, you get the dew on the leaves and the grass, and you get to see the animals that you're taking care of and see the choices that you make and see how they respond to it and how they grow from it. It's nice being able to continue the work that you've grown up seeing your father do and seeing the joys that he has expressed doing this type of work, and it's joyous for me as well to be able to do the same things that I've seen when I was a kid and looked up to.
With over 20 years of elk farming, you can tell there's a great sense of pride on this ranch.